Et bonjour tout le monde, comment allez-vous? Salut Scravel, salut Mio, salut Venata, salut Galamarine. Salut, salut! Alors, tac. Est-ce que vous êtes ready? Are you ready for the beginning? Parce que je crois, j'ai lancé le jeu tout à l'heure pour vérifier que tout allait bien vis-à-vis d'OBS et tout. Et, ouais, le jeu il commence direct, je crois qu'il n'y a pas de menu en fait. Rien du tout. Il commence direct. Et le son est fort. Là j'ai baissé le son, mais faut me dire si c'est encore fort. Bah écoute, moi ça va, ouais. Ça va, ça va. Je me suis réveillée en panique ce matin, c'était très drôle parce qu'en fait, je me suis réveillée et je me suis dit, attends, je l'ai acheté le jeu, ouais. Est-ce que je l'ai installé? Oh merde! Du, du coup, j'ai rushé à mon PC pour l'installer et être à l'heure. C'était très drôle. Mais heureusement, c'était pas du tout long. Allez, bah on est parti, hein. Ça, je quitte, ça sert à rien. Hop. Alors dites-moi, est-ce que c'est encore fort? Que je pense que je vais baisser un peu tout ça. C'est fort? Ouais, c'est fort. On va se mettre là et la musique, baisser un peu plus. Là, c'est mieux. Enfin, là, il n'y a pas trop de bruit, mais...
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Bah, on est parti, du coup, hein. Avec la maison. Alors, je sais pas du tout, j'ai jamais vu quelqu'un y jouer, je sais pas du tout... Alors, par contre, c'est quoi les contrôles? Ah ouais, ah oui, c'est chiant, ça. Les petites flèches, les contrôles. Hop, je peux courir? Non.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
La moitié des pièces étaient interdites. Porqué?
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Ah oui.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Depuis l'enterrement de mon frère. D'accord. Je sais pas qui est le personnage par contre. Le son c'est nickel?
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Où qu'on va? The Finches. Il est par là, hein? Donc en fait là c'est elle.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
C'est elle. Parce que elle... Donc t'as sa mère qui est décédée. T'as son frère qui est décédé. Parce qu'elle a dit qu'elle n'était pas retournée ici depuis l'enterrement de son frère. Donc globalement la famille, il n'y en a plus beaucoup quoi.
The truth is,
Salut Louise.
even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
Je n'avais jamais pensé y revenir. Donc pourquoi elle est revenue?
But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Ok.
The house was exactly like I remembered it.
Wow,
The way I'd
elle
been
est
dreaming
stylée la
about it.
maison. Milton Finch. Son frère peut-être? Vous êtes trop stylé, on dirait la maison des Weasley dans Harry Potter.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable
Et salut
in
Foxine,
a
comment
way
ça
I
va?
couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Salut Manudou. Ok, donc elle avait peur de la maison, mais c'est pas trop pourquoi, de ce que j'ai compris. Je sais pas si c'est un peu comme dans Resident Evil, tu peux trouver, looter des trucs. Missing. Milton, ouais c'est Milton qui est disparu, très bien. Oh, on dirait la maison des Weasley, c'est ce que j'ai dit, c'est incroyable. Ça, trop drôle. Alors,
I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
la maison t'attendait. Alors oui, peut-être pas non plus, parce que... Ouais. Ok, il nous faut la clé. Peut-être dans un pot de fleurs. Les gens ils font ça souvent, non? Il y a des passages un peu durs émotionnellement dans le jeu, mais il est vraiment cool. Ah! Ouais, je crois que c'était Boba qui me l'avait conseillé. Il m'avait dit, ouais, à pas faire pendant Noël. Let's go.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Ouais, c'est logique. T'as grandi depuis. Donc là, elle a 17 ans. Putain, à 17 ans, elle a perdu déjà son frère et sa mère. Et son père, je pense qu'il est mort aussi. Ça
For
paraît
the
très
first
logique.
time in years,
Pour la première fois depuis des années. Oui, on a compris ça.
I felt like I was home.
C'est normal, t'es dans ta maison. La pas l'air
But
très
instead
futude,
of a
par contre.
family, there were just memories of one.
Oui. Puisque là, tout est logique, oui. C'est quoi ça?
Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Ok. Donc c'est Lewis. Et Lewis, son frère. C'est pas Milton. Donc c'est qui Milton? Qui a disparu là?
Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house. So we had Chinese a lot.
Ok. Edith, Eddie, Lewis. Ouais, c'est ça donc. Lewis, c'est son frère. Sa mère, ça doit être Down.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it. Like a smile with too many teeth.
C'est vrai qu'il y a beaucoup de choses dans la maison quand même.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Barbara. Qui est Barbara?
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Ok.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Après son naufrage? Le naufrage d'une maison? Qu'est-ce que quoi? D'accord. Alors...
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
Ok, donc ils sont partis précipitamment. Il y a un téléphone là.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Great-grandma. Donc là j'en viens. Ah oui, il y a l'étage. Ah puis il y a cette porte là aussi. Et c'est un œillet. C'est ça. Ah non, c'est une porte de... Oui non, elle est scellée. Autant pour moi.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Edith s'est vengée. Edith, c'est la grand-mère. En creusant des petits trous. Quoi? Ça va pas bien cette famille?
I
What?
spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Et bonjour à ceux qui arrivent, oui.
I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
D'accord.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Oh!
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
What? Une chambre d'enfant?
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Chambre d'enfant et je dirais une chambre de fille.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Alors c'est toujours bien de nourrir ses enfants. Si jamais.
I kept eating and eating.
Ah, fais pas de moi. Oh non. Oh. Oh, ça me dégoûte. Ça me dégoûte. Manger du
I ate a
dentifrice.
lot of things that night.
Oh non. Ah oui, non, ça c'est pas bon ça. Ah oui, non, non, non. Ça c'est mauvais bail, Louloute.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her.
Ah, ah oui, non. Bah non.
And suddenly,
Boum.
I was a cat.
What? What? Les gamines, elles se transforment en chat? D'accord. Sauter ou pas dans ce jeu? Pas sauter. Ah si! Oh!
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Est-ce qu'elle va... Elle va boire un truc ou elle va se casser la gueule? C'est trop bien d'être un chat, je veux être un chat.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Coucou maman, papa! Ah oui, non, faut nourrir les enfants pas avec des bébés douteuses, non. Ils l'ont même pas regardé la gamine, très bien. Il est où le oiseau? J'ai perdu les oiseaux. Huss! 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 Ah, là-bas. Ouh!
I jumped and I almost got her.
Mais faut pas tuer les oiseaux, madame. Pas ouf de faire ça. Oula! Faut me casser la gueule, hein. Non! Saute sur la chaise.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
Elle est où maintenant? Je la vois plus. Ah, là. Parce que c'est la gueule, la gamine.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Oh, trop bien. Je vais être une chouette aussi, c'est trop bien les chouettes.
Rabbits.
Des lapins? Ah oui, des lapins. Viens là. Oh non, j'aime bien les pampins.
imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Ah.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
D'accord. Avec ce jeu, ça raconte joliment plein d'histoires tristes. Ok. Après, c'est pas non plus triste.
A mama rabbit.
Une grosse lettre. Là. Gros lapin. C'est la loi de la nature, quoi.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
Ça, c'est la loi de la nature, pour le coup.
And suddenly, I was a shark.
Oula. Ah, un shark dans les arbres, c'est pas ouf. Oula, oula. Aïe. C'est pas drôle. On est dans le vide.
I rolled off the cliff and into the ocean. Now,
Ah,
I
voilà.
was hungrier than ever.
Ah, ouh. Oula, non, il y a une bébête par là-bas. Je peux pas... Si. Là, bébête.
I wanted
Bravo.
fat, juicy seeds.
Merde, j'ai raté. Merde.
I tore off her flipper and it tasted
Ah oui, non.
really good.
Ouais, mais non, mange-le d'un coup parce que sinon il a mal. C'est pas cool de faire mal. Donc il est. Je regarde pas ça à travers son écran. On dirait un perso de GTA qui tombe de la montagne, mais de ouf, c'était grave ça. Et par contre, j'ai jamais été le requin dans GTA.
I grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Quoi? Ah, c'est un serpent. Il faut pas avoir des phobies animales, hein.
Now I was a monster and I smelled people everywhere.
Et c'est pas des monstres, les serpents. Je suis bloquée. Oula. Oui. Où est-ce qu'il faut aller? C'est une pieuvre. Ah, c'est une pieuvre! Ah! What? Même les pieuvres, c'est pas des monstres, non mais... Salut, chicks. Ah bah, tête. Ah! Un gros yeux. Viens là, gros yeux. Je peux passer là? Je peux pas passer.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Ah ouais? Yes, oui, le kraken. Et le 1. Ok.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Oui. Ah que coucou. C'est moi que
After the
voilà.
last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Ah, on est dans les égouts, yes. On va aller. Pas dans les égouts du coup.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Bah là c'est un serpent par contre. Venez d'un tuyau. Vas-y hein. Oh j'espère que c'est pas des chiottes. Oh c'est des chiottes. Oh. Là, je me perds. Là, allez sur la fenêtre. Hein, je peux pas. Tant pis.
I got closer and closer.
Tout
All
nu.
my stomach started growling,
Ok.
and suddenly I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep, but it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Mhm. D'accord. Molly. Qui est Molly? Ah.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Euh, 47, donc elle a vécu 10 ans. Alors attendez, parce que ça c'est intéressant, ouais. Donc t'as Edith, Milton et Lewis. Ok, donc Milton c'était son frère. Ah ouais, il y en a un qui est mort en 2003, l'autre qui est mort en 2010, c'est chaud. Elle c'est la gamine, c'est la petite. Down et Gus du coup. Ok. Il y a Kay. Elle finit par Barbara. Ok. Ok, ok.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
C'est pas très... Ouais.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten,
Mhm.
she was the one who named it Molly.
En fait, dans cette famille, tout le monde meurt jeune, genre.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Donc là, c'est la maison de... Enfin, la maison, la
When
chambre
Edie
de...
told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Ok.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Ok, donc en gros, Eddie, la grand-mère, c'est une meuf ouverte d'esprit qui captait très bien qu'il y avait un
Her
problème,
room was like a museum.
alors que sa
For
mère, elle...
500 years, the
non.
Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Ok. Hmm. Y a autre chose ou pas?
Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
C'est chaud.
On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edith, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
Ok.
Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Très bien. Alors.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
Bah oui, du coup. Donc t'as Odin, Igeborg, qui ont eu Eddie. Eddie a eu Molly, Barbara, Calvin, Sam. Je crois, hein. Peut-être Walter même. Ah non, oui, c'est ça. Ensuite, Kay. Ah non. Kay, Gregory. Down. Ouais, ok. Compliqué cette affaire. Alors. Du coup, t'avais la porte là-bas. Attendez, je vais regarder s'il n'y a pas un truc ici. Scellé. Ouais, du coup, la mère de Edith, c'est quelqu'un qui est... Il cache la vérité, quoi. Oh, ça, c'est dégueulasse. Mettre des froufrous sur des
The only
chiottes.
trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the
Ignoble.
house was the pink bathroom.
Première femme de grand-père
It
Sam.
was a pretty big trace.
Ah oui, en effet, oui.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Ah oui. Pretty Big Secret. Calvin.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Il n'a jamais été. Ok. Ok, c'est pas... C'est creepy, mais c'est pas trop creepy, genre. C'est des photos qui sont... Voilà, c'est le photo... Ouais, c'est des photos qui sont très ok.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Oui. Dis, tu peux te relever là, non? Et donc là, c'est la chambre de Milton, je suppose. Fort Sam, Fort Calvin. Ah oui, d'accord, t'avais un...
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin,
Calvin...
and that he never talked about him.
Jamais pas... Est-ce qu'il a dû mourir jeune aussi?
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Ah oui, il est mort à 11 ans, lui. C'est terrible, la malédiction de cette famille.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did.
Qu'il mourrait
At
avant...
Barbara's funeral, he swore he'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Ça donne une tournée, ça, par contre.
Sam, Calvin, dinner's ready.
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible.
Qui a fait un temps complet était impossible. Oh non, le gamin, il est vraiment mort.
Maybe
Genre,
if I hadn't said that.
Calvin, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Ah ouais, mais en même temps qu'il met une balançoire.
That's what I want to
Ils vont
remember about my
pousser,
brother.
genre. Oh, il l'a fait! Et les deux! Et les trois!
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
D'accord. Alors. Par contre,
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
ouais, c'est hyper dangereux de faire ça en fait, de mettre une balançoire à cet endroit-là. Terrible. C'est quand
After
même
the
bien
funeral,
terrible.
Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
Il interdit l'accès à la moitié de la chambre. Ouais, normal.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Logique en vrai. Ah ouais, il y a plein de secrets dans la maison. En vrai, c'est stylé, j'aime bien. J'aime beaucoup. S.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
S.
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
Putain, Odin. Et là, sa chambre de Barbara. Très bien.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Barbara. Ah ouais, il y a eu un film sur cette gamine-là. Et là, c'est full. Ah ouais, c'est full scellé en fait. La maison. La maison est full scellée. Oui, bon, on va aller dans la chambre de Barbara. Hein. Que je peux, j'espère que je peux. Oui, je peux. Et salut Anaïs, comment vas-tu?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
D'accord. Ah oui, non, elle a tourné dans un film. Ok, je croyais qu'il y avait eu un film fait sur sa disparition, genre. Mais non, elle a tourné dans un film, c'est moins creepy que ce que je pensais.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Ah oui, ça par contre, les enfants stars, c'est horrible. Hein. En 60, donc elle avait 16 ans. 16 ans quand elle est décédée.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
Eh bah écoute, ça va
20
bien,
minutes
ça va bien,
later,
Naïs, ça va très bien.
Rick hadn't returned.
Et tant mieux si ça va mieux pour toi, oui.
So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue.
Ok.
She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Elle va aller au sous-sol là. Ah non, mais elle va pas au sous-sol, frère. Elle va pas au sous-sol. Un gang de truands. Faut pas aller au sous-sol quand il y a un gang de truands.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Ah non, il va la pranker, non? Il va la pranker. Tout va bien, c'est un prank.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Pablo Isatu. Donc ça c'est la scie, ok, très bien. C'est pour ça qu'il y a du sang.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Coming up, coming up. Non, pas là. C'est vrai que c'est très très stylé le BD, le truc BD. Oui.
Walter, are you there? Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Oh.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
Attends, c'est qui ça? C'est qui ça? There's a way out. Yeah.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Par où qu'on va? Est-ce qu'on se réfugie dans les chiottes? Non, pas dans les chiottes. Il y a la fenêtre ou alors il y a la cheminée.
Alley's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Hop!
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
On va descendre, hein? C'est où les escaliers? Ah là. Reste sur tes gardes, gamine. Reste sur tes gardes. Ça va bien se passer. Et il va plus être là, 100%. Il est plus là.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
Who's that?
At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Ils étaient deux?
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
Oh, c'est
And
cute.
she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself,
J'ai pas compris là.
but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night.
What? Attends,
And
mais c'est
little
qui l'a tué du coup?
Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Oh!
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Quelle horreur! Bon, du coup, ça doit être le mec au crochet qui l'a tué juste. Juste, entre guillemets. Hein.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Ouais, peut-être. Donc, plus que Sam, qui est donc le grand-père. Barbara. Très bien. Bon. Ben, c'est triste tout ça.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ah non, moi je croyais vraiment que en fait à la fin c'était une surprise en mode une surprise quoi. En mode c'était une blague, une prank. En fait non. Il a vraiment été tué. Music box. Nickel. Et bonjour à ceux qui arrivent. Bien le bonjour à vous. Alors, où qu'on est là? Donc dans le basement. On est dans le basement.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
D'accord. Jusque là, ça paraît à peu près logique.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages.
Ok.
I thought maybe she was hiding presents.
Ouais, non.
It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that. I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could.
Il était parti depuis longtemps.
If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Ouais, ça c'est pas faux ça. Elle a pas tort. Walter, qui est donc... Ah oui, non, il a vécu longtemps lui.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week.
Comment ça?
But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
Ça c'est vrai ça. Encore?
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal.
Un monstre vert à porte très bien. Mais il est parti combien de temps lui?
Almost friendly.
Ok, nickel.
And then one day, everything just
Stopped,
stopped.
I guess.
Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting.
Donc il y avait un
Or
truc
maybe
derrière
I
la
just
porte.
got tired of being afraid.
Peut-être ça, oui. Oula.
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
Ah, il est parti 30 ans.
I'm done waiting.
Attends,
I have to leave. Well, I still can.
il est resté pendant 30 ans là-dedans. Oh, putain, et nous, on n'arrive pas avec 6 mois de confinement, enfin même pas avec 3 mois de confinement. Et lui, il est resté 30 ans là-dedans. Waouh. Et respect Walter. Hein. Par contre, j'ai pas compris pourquoi il est allé là-dedans. Tremblement. Oh.
I know it's out there, somewhere.
Une bestiole.
Whatever killed Barbara
Ah,
and Molly and Calvin.
lui.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day,
Salut Froutose.
even if it kills me.
Ouais, franchement, il est très cool le jeu. J'aime beaucoup. J'aime beaucoup, j'aime beaucoup.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month,
Or a
or a
day.
single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Finch. 2005, donc ouais, il a vécu 53 ans, je crois, un truc comme ça.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Par contre, Molly, qu'est-ce qu'a tué Molly? Elle a juste disparu, la gamine, non? Bien plus. Un truc qui attendait qu'elle s'endorme, je sais pas quoi.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Elle était surtout dans le déni, sa mère. Hein. Dans le déni de quelque chose qui pourrait arriver.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
Non, mais c'est ça, la mère, elle avait peur, mais elle était aussi dans le déni, quoi.
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house,
Oui.
I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Oui, ça c'est vrai, ça.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive.
Ouais, ça c'est pas con, ça. S'il y a une malédiction sur la famille, il faut la lever.
Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else.
Maybe two. Qui serait le deuxième?
But now I'm worried the stories
Son père.
themselves might be the problem.
L'histoire soit le problème. Comment
Maybe we
ça?
believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Ah, ça c'est vrai, ça. Je sais qu'il y a un truc comme ça. Quand t'as trop peur de quelque chose, tu vas le réaliser, genre. Il y a un espèce de syndrome comme ça.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
Mais si, tu fais bien. Documente, documente. C'est important. Pourquoi il y a des chaises dans les arbres? Ça n'a aucun sens.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me.
Ça died
But I
with
thought
me.
you should know about your family.
Je devrais savoir. Ta famille. Comment ça? Pourquoi elle parle comme si elle
And the
était morte?
history you're a part of.
L'histoire.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
À qui elle parle? À qui tu parles, Edith?
I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth. And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
Ah, ça, c'est
What
sûr.
kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Oui, ça c'est... Ouais. Ça veut tout dire, en effet.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Ah ouais? Christopher, c'était un poisson. Shadow, un chat. Chien.
3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Ah! T'as oublié de les nourrir, c'est ça? Peter, Charlie. C'est terrible.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Walter. Eddie. Donc elle... Oui, ok, la grand-mère est morte aussi. Son mari aussi, Calvin. Molly. Ouais, ils sont tous morts, genre. Sauf Sam, le père.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Faut move on, mais faut pas oublier le passé.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Mur. Je vais faire...
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night.
Bon bah retour. Hein.
Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Ah non, Sam il est mort aussi. Ah, mais lui il est mort à 33. Grégory, c'est qui Grégory? Ah, il est mort à 1 an. Ouais. Et Gus, 13 ans.
She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Et oui, c'est son frère à elle, mais Sanjay Kumar, je sais pas qui c'est. Et
We
Milton.
never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone.
Yes.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along, for me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing,
Allez, monte sur l'arbre. Non? Je sais pas.
I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Ah! Enceinte de 22 semaines? Ah, mais c'est pour ça, c'est ça le trigger. Ah, elle va tomber. Enceinte de 22 semaines et elle a 17 ans. Allez, saute. Quoi? Tu peux pas sauter? Saute! Je peux pas sauter. Ah si, putain, il y a une échelle, j'avais pas vu.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
22 semaines, ça fait combien de mois ça, 22 semaines? Divisé par 4.
They were both pretty intense.
Ça fait 11, 5 mois. Ah oui, 5 mois de grossesse, c'est quand même... C'est quand même bien enceinte. Comment la lignée de la famille peut se perpétuer alors que tout le monde meurt avant d'être majeur? Bah... En ayant des enfants plus jeunes qu'avant d'être majeur.
Never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Mais ils sont pas tous
These
morts
memories are
très
gonna last a
jeunes.
lifetime.
Merde.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up.
still freezing, though.
Qu'est-ce que je peux photographier d'autre?
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee. Nothing quite like being outside. Hey!
That's a keeper.
Ouais, c'est marrant.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire. We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
Non. Ça, c'est très bien. Des oiselles.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Moi j'aime pas ça, c'est les animaux. Pas. Où est Gaming? Là.
Dad, I
I don't want to, c'est ça?
Let me get behind you.
do I have to do this?
Ah, elle
Don,
est balèze.
you don't have to do anything.
Oups.
Great shot, Don!
Oh. Oh bah non, elle est triste la gamine.
I'm proud of you, Don. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so...
normal, Don.
C'est bon.
Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh! Ah ouais, oui, 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 oui.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Ah ouais, donc ça c'est comment le père de... Enfin son grand-père est mort. Ok. Bon ça... Ouais, en fait, à chaque fois c'est des... À chaque fois c'est des trucs pas de peau, quoi. C'est des trucs... Vraiment, c'est pas
Sam
de
spent
chance.
his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
En fait, c'est destination finale dans cette famille, genre vraiment. Et au moindre truc, il meurt. Non, mais non, mais non. Pas demander de ressortir, trou de cul.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Je peux pas passer? Ah. Grégory. Merde, putain. Si elle se retourne, elle repart en arrière. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on a ici? Ah. Et Grégory, c'est celui qui a vécu qu'1 an, si je dis pas de conneries. Oui, c'est ça, c'est celui qui a vécu qu'1 an. Divorce.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Ah.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Grenouille. Oui. Let's go be a baby. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Ah, je suis la grenouille. Putain.
Hand over, Gregory. It's time to. Hold on, sweetie.
Oh non, il s'est noyé dans le bain.
Hello?
Oh non.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
Sortir. Oh, des bulles.
I wonder what he saw. What his room was like.
Oui. Trop cute. J'adore.
He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was, he saw.
Je crois qu'il est vu, ouais. Wouhou. Trop stylé. J'adore, c'est trop bien. J'ai aucune idée de ce qu'il faut faire. Mais c'est marrant. Ça me fume, putain. Je crois qu'il faut appuyer, faut faire en sorte que la grenouille elle saute sur le truc, je crois. Ouais, là-dessus, là. Non. Il faut qu'elle fasse quoi, la grenouille? Oh!
Sure made him happy.
Faut tout mettre dans le bain. On va tout mettre dans le bain. Hop là. Le Y. Le Y. Le Y. Putain. Reviens ici. Putain. Mais... Tu vas y arriver, oui. Let's go. Je suis bloquée. Bon, on va ce qu'il faut faire. Us. Ah. Ouh. Oh, trop bien. Oh, c'est génial. J'adore ce jeu. The Baignoire Game. Us. Ah merde, j'ai raté. Hop, on y retourne. Puis la musique de ballet, ça me termine. Hop. Oh merde, c'est trop loin. Pousse la baleine. Pousse, 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 pousse. Hop là. C'est que ça paraît idiot. Qu'est-ce qui paraît idiot?
That I worried about a baby being too happy.
Ah, peut-être la fenêtre?
But I could feel him slipping away.
Sleeping away? Comment ça?
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could.
Comment ça?
Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
Yes.
I wish he could have told us. About the world he saw.
Ah. Ah non. Regardez pas. Regardez pas.
There's so much I don't understand. About Gregory. About everything.
Yes. C'est horrible.
But I know what happened wasn't your fault.
Je viens d'arriver, je suis déjà conquis par le jeu. Salut Unicorn. Mais il est trop cool. Il est trop cool. J'aime trop. Vraiment bien.
I'm sure he's happy.
Ah. Bon bah, remets pas du coup.
And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Ça, c'est horrible. La culpabilité que tu dois ressentir en tant que parent, c'est... Alors que bah... Là, pour le coup, elle y peut rien, la mère, tu vois. C'est juste le truc qui s'est relancé tout seul. Terrible. Ben ouais. Je comprends pourquoi Boba avait dit qu'il fallait pas le faire à Noël, ce jeu.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Oh, elle est stylée, la petite chambre, là.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Si ça
I
l'aide,
can't
c'est le
imagine what
principal.
it was like for her to lose 2 sons after she'd already lost 2 brothers.
Ouais.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Ah, c'est son père, Sanjay. Ok. Ah bah c'est... Construire des maisons. Très bien. Oui, non mais ouais, mais... Je sais pas comment expliquer, mais bon. Je pense que la culpabilité est trop terrible à porter. Est-ce que c'est bien là? Est-ce que je me trompe pas? C'est rare qu'il faille revenir sur ses traces. Merde, putain! Casse les couilles ça. À chaque fois que tu recules, elle retourne dans le trou. Vas-y, retourne voir s'il n'y a pas un truc. Gregory down. Ah voilà, je me
I
dis
can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
poème pour Gus.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard.
Ah, ça c'est méchant ça. Faut prendre toutes les lettres. Let's go. Let's go. Oups.
My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart.
Se désobéit, jouant avec son cerveau, tempête monte en lui. Ok.
I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom were the words that
Car
I
je voulais la
know.
madame. Pas besoin de belle-mère. Pure ses paroles bien ma mère. Ouais, tu m'étonnes. Est-ce que ça?
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here.
On
But
vient
Gus
de les
declined,
photos.
and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Oh! Ouh! Ouh, ça c'est méchant ça, pas bien.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
À cause du vent? Ok, tout le monde s'est réfugié. Oh non, il va se faire prendre par un éclair. 100% va y avoir un éclair. Et c'est ça qui l'a tué. 100%.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Ouais, c'est ça.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Ah non, c'est pas un éclair du coup.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Ok, donc c'est le vent.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Ah, attends, down, guess. Ouais, ok. Donc là, il nous reste plus que Lewis et Milton du coup. Alors, que faire? Est-ce qu'il y a un autre truc à activer ou une connerie comme ça? Non? Je vais remonter dans le doute. On parle de l'arbre généalogique de la mort. Ouais, c'est terrible, hein. Après le ciel, c'est pour connaître la direction du vent. Franchement, le pire, c'est que... Bah, c'est... Ça existe, hein.
My
Des
mom moved
familles
to
comme ça.
India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later.
En fait, ça existe des maladies genre héréditaires qui font que tu meurs
When my dad
relativement
died,
jeune.
I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
Ouais.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that.
Elle a agrandi la maison. Eddie est habitué à ça. Ça, par contre, c'est trop cool. Le fait de genre
And for a while,
construire
things
des
were
trucs
good.
comme ça, c'est trop cool.
Almost normal.
Tout s'est bien passé, presque normalement. Ah, ils étaient scolarisés à la maison?
But it didn't last.
Ou alors c'est un jeu d'enfant?
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Bon, on peut pas rentrer, je suppose. Hein.
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Non, famille, pas de bol quand même. Je crois qu'après, je vais arrêter de dire que je suis poissard. Ah ouais, ouais, non mais... On se rend jamais compte de la chance qu'on a avant de regarder ce que les autres ont. Un petit... Par contre, c'est trop stylé. Je suis désolée, mais si j'avais eu un château comme ça quand j'étais petite, je serais restée dedans toute ma vie en fait, je pense.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Non, c'est trop stylé. Tellement dur et long à faire ça, en plus. Les petits livrets comme ça. Ah merde. Attendez, j'ai plus le chat. 2 secondes. Hop. Yo Apo, comment ça va? Et on est reparti. Bah ça va bien, écoute. J'adore ce jeu. Il est trop bien. Et bonjour à ceux qui arrivent, oui. Il a créé une porte secrète. Intéressant.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Ah, donc elle l'a pas connu en fait. 12... Ouais, non, elle l'a pas connu. Elle a pas connu son frère. Ça, c'est terrible. Que je dois faire. Oui. Je suis Keblo là. Ah, c'est bon.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Mais c'est quoi le contexte? Genre, comment il a disparu? Merde. Non, c'est pas ça que je voulais faire.
Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
D'accord. J'ai demandé si c'était une vagueuse. En
Mom
vrai,
definitely blamed Edie, but I
En
think
vrai-
Lewis blamed himself.
ils se sentaient coupables. D'accord. En vrai, au début, je croyais que c'était The Remains of Edith Finch.
After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room.
Au tout début,
Until
je croyais
Mom
ça
got him
aussi.
a job at the
Je me suis fait la
cannery.
même réflexion. Est-ce que maman lui trouve un travail à la conserve? Ok, il se sentait coupable de la mort de son frère. Je vais où? Je vais là en premier? Ah non, ici. Non, c'est l'autre. Allez. L'autre côté. Ah non. Là. Ah oui. C'est trop stylé. J'aime trop cette maison.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Ah oui. Ah oui, je vois pourquoi, oui. Ah oui, oui.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Ah. Finch.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats.
Des chauves-souris.
And toads.
C'est compliqué de faire deux choses en même temps là. Je fasse bouger le bonhomme.
And things that had not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more.
Il avait trouvé quoi?
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him.
Encouragé, ah oui. Elle a peut-être vénère la psychiatre.
It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Oh, toutou.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Il va se perdre dans
He no
le
longer
film.
spoke at the cannery,
Il ne parlait plus. Ouais, tu m'étonnes, il était dans
but
son
his
monde.
chopping was as reliable as ever.
Ah, il va se trancher
Then
la
one
main
day
ou
it
un
struck
truc comme
him
ça.
that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won.
Logique.
They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality.
Et ça se voit, ouais. Le bateau, compliqué.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
Je suis occupée là, maman. Des poissons. Enfin, non. Décapite des poissons.
In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a beautiful prince.
Oh, c'est joli. La peinture référence à son frère, je
The
suppose.
prince was on his own quest for
De sinistres serpents.
sinister serpents.
Il s'engage des choses dans un truc de ouf. Mais le pire, c'est que ça arrive. Hein. Moi, il y a plein de moments où
He
je fais une
followed the
tâche
sound
qui
of
est
his
simple. Mais là, c'est stylé. Une tâche simple et en fait, t'es perdu dans tes
Silver
pensées. Bon, là, le problème, c'est que lui, il faisait ça tout le temps. C'était devenu sa vie, quoi.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Ah ouais. On voit plus rien, on voit que les poissons.
He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
C'est trop beau, j'adore. Trop, trop beau.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Ah, il s'est perdu. Il a oublié que c'était de l'imaginaire.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Ok. Et c'est le jet de Lise. Oh.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Louis, the cannery worker.
Je crois que c'est... Ah ouais, il a eu une espèce de dédoublement, parce que ça, c'est lui en face. Sauf que moi, je le dirige lui aussi.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Donc ça, allait me mépriser royalement. Ouais.
I still thought I could save him.
Toujours pouvoir le
Even
sauver.
after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Ouais, ça a l'air... ouais.
The palace would be packed with his companions.
Salut Paléo. Et salut ceux qui arrivent.
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Son sage chat. Yes. Je peux pas aller plus vite. Pas maintenant. C'est-moi le roi.
His prince waited, holding his crown.
C'est moi que je suis le roi.
There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
Oh non. Sauf que dans la réalité...
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Mais en fait, c'est c'est la psychiatre qui a fait de la merde là. Hein.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Il reste plus que son père, je crois, dont on connaît pas la mort. Et Eddie. Le père et la grand-mère. Ah, hein. Et waouh. Chaud. En fait, à partir du moment où il a commencé à confondre la réalité et l'imaginaire, elle aurait dû faire un truc, genre déjà le mettre en arrêt de travail. Parce que c'est légèrement dangereux ce qu'il fait comme travail quand même. Du coup, c'est la faute de la psychiatre. Hein. Oui, ça va préparer mes bagages.
She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
C'est quoi ça?
But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Ah si, ok, je vois
What
ce que
happened
c'est.
that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
Le déménagement? C'est de ça dont elle parle? I suppose.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
Mais elle parle à qui? Tirer des cacahuètes, ouais. Non, c'est les trucs
That
que tu
whole
mets dans les
last
cartons.
day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
the hallway.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
Oh.
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Horrible ça. History of the Finches.
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
Elle est incroyable cette maison, mais
That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
Oh.
I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things.
Oh, un cerf. Pas sûr, le cerf. Toujours aller vers la vie.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again.
Bye.
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Oh, ce jeu quand t'es en voiture, il est incroyable.
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you.
Et c'est qui
I'm
lui?
still not sure what to tell you about all this.
Oh non, elle parle à
If
son
we
bébé.
lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you.
Mais
But
oui,
now I hope you'll never see it.
tu ne trouveras jamais. Elle parle à son bébé.
I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Oh, c'est si triste. 2017. 2017. Elle avait 17 ans. Ouais, elle est morte un an après avoir eu un bébé. Oh, c'est si triste. Oh, ça me brise le cœur. Waouh. Ah ouais, il est... Ouais, il est incroyable. Et waouh. Bon, bah écoutez, ce jeu était incroyable. Je l'ai fini assez vite. Je croyais que ça allait durer 3 heures et demie. Mais bah du coup non. J'ai pas suivi le jeu mais la fin était jolie. Bah ouais, c'était très beau. En gros tout le jeu c'est Edith, la dernière Finch en vie qui va dans la maison et qui essaye de découvrir la mort, enfin, comment sont morts toute sa famille en fait. Et donc t'as l'histoire de chacun et tout. Incroyable. Franchement il était génial ce jeu. Génial, génial. Bon, et bah écoutez, c'était plus court que ce que je pensais. Du coup, ce qu'on va faire, c'est que je vais aller manger. Et je pense que je reviens à 14h. Donc ça me laisse 1 heure pour grailler. Je reviens à 14h et on décalera sur GTA direct. Voilà, voilà. On va faire ça. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on peut raid? Juste monodie. Bah c'est parti. Hein. Je sais même pas si je peux. Let's go, montez donc dans la raid mobile. Et c'est parti. Des bisous.